Hey, 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 welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for whoever that lands on it. And reading for my winner. Um, I'm really excited to do her. She's from Ireland. Yes, yes. I love it when people from other places in the world, play. It's exciting to me. All right, now, if you're new to my channel, all you need to do is, and you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, all you need to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. Now, this channel is all about shadow healing. Okay, so you have to be open also to beginning a shadow reading. All right, like I said, I'm doing a free reading today for my winner, and I'm waiting for her to come on. See, when you get on here, winner, let me know that you're here. Otherwise, I am just going to, don't mind me, I look like crazy. But my hair is like crazy. So, like I said, I am doing a reading for my winner. However, if you wind up landing on this reading and you wind up resonating with it, you were, good. Yay. Tina, I'm so glad that you're here. I got on a little bit late. I'm sorry. I'm like, it's been a crazy morning. My husband just went into hospice. So, it's been crazy. Trying to stay balanced, being able to go with the flow of life when life is turbulent. I feel like you know all about that. Life turbulent has been hard. But everything's the state of mind. So, I do shadow readings, right, Tina? I can tell you like what's going to happen, but there's many different realities that play it at one time. I consider myself an advisor because I, again, tell people what their spiritual blocks are and how they block themselves from manifesting certain experiences in their life. And I feel like you grew up in that pretty much. Glad to be here. Sorry. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been crazy, but every single thing in life. Sorry that my hair is driving me crazy. I'm staring at myself. I look like I have a bald on top of my head. And I have like that ADHD, that OCD, every single thing that again makes me be distracted, especially when we're nervous and there's things going on. I feel like you're very psychic yourself. I feel like you grew up in an environment that made you very sensitive. And so you have gifts, though you don't really use those gifts as much as you're supposed to. I feel like your soul's path. You always want to look at, your ancestral karma and because that's going to let us know what your inner child wants and what your shadows are. And that is going to allow us to tell us like why and how you manifest certain things in your life. Because a lot of healing is about reconditioning your mind. And unless you bypass the reptilian mind, which is all about, survival, you form certain habits and behaviorisms to survive, but they're out of alignment with what you're trying to create now. I always believe it's never a mistake that if someone winds up on my channel, it's that you're a magnet of who and what is supposed to come into your life. So you're a person that is a really good person that I feel like has worked on yourself, that has kind of looked for certain answers in your life and you just don't see them, and that you've been in search and on need while on your spiritual journey. So like if I'm to say, like there's a lot of imbalances when it comes to like relationships. So, and why I'm bringing that up is because part of you is like, I want to know what's going to happen in my life. And so, but the thing is, it's like there are certain spiritual blocks that make it difficult for you to actually manifest. And it doesn't mean that you can't have it, even if you have spiritual blocks, you can. But there's many different realities that play it at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on how things are going to play out. And if you grew up in an environment that was kind of like, again, there was love there. It's not like there wasn't love, but there was, again, it was also hard. It said there was certain spiritual blocks and hard around money, hard around these physical root chakra elements. Are you following me right now? Because it's like I need I need confirmation too. I'm doing a reading for you. So but that so unless you actually recondition yourself, you're not going to be able to create anything different. So that's why Spirit's saying it's like you're here to clear family karma. You're here to integrate spiritual lessons, and in that you actually become yourself. If that makes sense, because you need to, because there's the only way we really heal is to be able to see yourself differently, if you're following me. So let's just see what Spirit has with the cards. Now, do you want to know about a relationship? That's what I'm like. It's again, that's what's really there, because there's a sense of feeling like almost like inadequate. And it's like, and you're not inadequate. You're a highly sensitive person that's very intuitive, very smart, very creative. But I feel like you were geared in a very left brain environment. It's very structured. And so it's again, and it was love, it wasn't, but that's what worked for them. That doesn't really work for you. And so we're all born into families that teach, and they teach based on the environments that they lived, what worked for them. So the whole thing is you get the story of who you think you are, then there's a real story of who you truly are. The story of who you think you are is the family that you're born into and the situations. Yes, one on that has ended, leave like twin flame. But that like the on, off, on, off, on, off. It's like, understand your twin flame only comes into your life when you're ready to evolve into these higher states of consciousness, which is to transmute those lower vibrational energies that I'm talking about. So we don't really know how to do that a lot of times. So what happens is the universe brings us people and situations to help heal us. And that person actually seems like your other half, because they are very strong when it comes to money and all those things that you're not. Again, I said you're sensitive, you're spiritual, you're those things. So this person is your other half, but there is always a runner chaser dynamic. And so remember, you emotionally didn't get, and you are the more spiritual. So you're again more intuitive, and these are where your gifts are, the creative. And so this person's better with money. They're better with, again, the physical elements of the world. So it's not really like they're your other half, but they kind of seem like your other half, because where they have gifts, you don't, and vice versa. So when you're both aligned, which you kind of both are, believe it or not, because I believe when you show up here, and now you might say, like, it's not, that's what the problem is, we're not aligned. Well, it's like you wouldn't have wound up here. It means that it's coming into fruition. It's because Spirit always is divine time. So you find things in the right time. So it's again, there's a runner chaser dynamic, and what you didn't get was emotional. But God says, me first. I'm a jealous God. You're down there to learn that you're not separate from me, which is unconditional love. And that's by doing what you love, not this person. This person is not perfect. They seem like they're perfect to you, but they're not perfect. You know that, and you're like, no, I know that they're not perfect. It's like, yes, but it's like you're trying to fit it into the circle hole, like making it like if they did what they needed to do, there would be fulfillment. In actuality, if you do what you need to do, you become fulfilled, and then you become a magnet for this person. So the runner chaser dynamic is that that person also grew up being like they needed to be the fixer, they needed to be the healer, they needed to be that person. And so there was an unrealistic expectation of what they were supposed to do. So commitment happens to be an issue for them. It's again, and the reason why is because I'm not strong in myself. It's like you want certain things, want certain things, and you know who you are, you're confident that you are. Meanwhile, you're like, I'm not confident in who I am, I just know what I want. And so there's a sense of, I don't know whether I can do that on a consistent level. So really what the message is, Tina, is that we have to do it ourselves. And so God says, you're looking for that person to do it. You have to become yourself through becoming your passion, by doing what you love, by giving and receiving of love through your free will. It takes a mustard seed. God makes that multiply. We're all David going up against Goliath. God says, don't do my job, do your job. Be like childlike. You're not like childlike. You don't, again, interact and find yourself. And having a passion in life makes this person surrender their ego, because what happens is they'll see, you'll meet people, situations, and experiences, and the universe winds up coming in and helping to support you by giving you, again, what you need, but also by training this person, giving you what you need by getting fulfilled and getting that emotional attention that you need by getting in that passion, so that that is not the only passion that you have. Otherwise, you don't have anything to train your person with. It's like, and that when I say that is because people live their own lives, and obviously, and have gone through their own traumas, and they look at life through their own little keyhole, which is surrounded again by their trauma, and again filtered through their trauma, I should say. So everything that this person's going to do when it comes to commitment, if you feel that you emotionally already didn't get or depleted, they're definitely not going to do it, because the universe will not give you that. The universe says, no, you need to integrate that on your own in order to get that. And so that's also the thing that you're lacking in. That's also the thing that you think that you're broken in. That's also the thing that, again, makes you feel like this person's your better half. It's like they're your half, but it's again, where they have gifts, you don't, and vice versa, but they're not. It's again, you're blocked. And because you grew up in similar environments, form different behaviorisms to cope, which is why you're the twin flame. Again, they come into union when they're both ready. But understand, you can't make that person get ready by sitting there being like, you should be like ready. And it's just, no, what happens is you train them by cutting your energy off. ESP, connection of the heart and mind. That's twin flame connection. You're like, I can feel it when they're there. I can feel when they're not. But you want to be like, I want to cut my energy, and your mind can't be in two places at one time. You have to fight it with passion. What's your passion? You have nothing to train this person. They have to be triggered. Their ego needs to be triggered to be like, where is she, or where is he? Doesn't matter, because it works both ways. Where is the person's not around. There must be somebody else. There must be somebody else. Not that you want to scare this person, but what you're saying is, I'm not always available for you. I have other things that draw my attention. And again, the ego wants to believe that you're always going to be there. And if you're showing them that you're always going to be there, well, then they become the runner. They're like, no, I don't really want this, because you want me then to come into your life and fix it, heal it, do something. And that's too much for me. It's an unconscious thing that happens. And it's because we see what we look for unconsciously as well as consciously. And so again, this person is like, you're too available. And so you have to really invest in yourself by giving yourself that love, by becoming who you are, because then the universe brings you people and situations and experiences that actually help train your person. Otherwise, you're going to be in this karmic cycle of runner, chaser, runner, chaser. Oh, look, I finally got a little bit of chase. Maybe it was 5 minutes, but it didn't really last. You have to fight this it's again that the devil ways, because again, that's a consciousness of fear, which is what the devil is. It's like it's non-existent, it's just a consciousness, just the same as your consciousness of God, which is unconditional love, which is I'm going to do what I love by being what I love, be an expression of love. You're supposed to be a person's muse a lot of times. The divine counterpart steps into the divine counterpart because you have made them that way. Because you're like, again, a woman's job a lot of times, and I don't even say a woman, they used to say a woman, but now I'd say anybody, any counterpart's job is to bring a person to God. And that's just to come to unconditional love by forgiving. I can forgive that you were an asshole and hurt me, even though I don't want to forgive. I could forgive because I love you unconditionally. I don't know why, but I do. It's again, it's compassion. I can put myself in your shoes because I've been there too. It's all those traits of the Christ consciousness, which is of unconditional love. It's just love, the energy of the universe, the energy that's inside you, the energy that's inside them. When you connect to your soulmate twin flame, you feel like home. They feel like home. There's a familiarity. It transcends time and space, so that ESP connection is always there. So it's a real comfort that they can tap in. That's why you got to cut it. And if you don't think that it's real. Trust me. It's like, and then you also have to, where your mind is, your ass needs to follow, meaning like you need to like invest your time in other things. And that's by becoming yourself, because Spirit's saying there's a piece of your pie that's missing. That's why that dynamic is what it is. The divine counterpart comes into life when you are, again, that expression of unconditional love. Then they're bringing their skills. Then they're bringing their traits, and understand the first trait that they're going to need to learn when they come back is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, it's again, being humble. It's again, because God knows they weren't humble. They didn't want to apologize. They wanted to act again like, well, you're not going to go anywhere, when really that's not true. That was their ego. So part of this is a real spiritual, you're fighting a consciousness. And so you're going to feel this person's emotions. You might even feel like they're your emotions. Like, why am I pissed off? I have nothing to be pissed off about. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just sticking up for myself. So you have to cut the energy, because you don't want to be coming at other people from an emotional level because you feel their shit either. The same way that they can feel your stuff. It's again, that's what the twin flame soulmate relationship is, that happens in the spiritual realm that people don't talk about. It's like it's all happening for a reason. It's all happening really to help change you, mold you, become you, to actually look at your shit. It's like, wait a minute, why is this person so appealing? Because look, they have that life that I have, that life. It's like, I admire this about them. It's like, and I just feel they would be a good fit for me. And the Spirit's like, yeah, because you're missing that on yourself. It's like leaving the house without pants on and looking at other people and think, well, there, you would look nice with I bet it would look nice on the bottom half because I'm naked. And that's really Spirit saying, no, you just haven't, grounded that. And that means like put your ideas and your passions and really knowing who you are and where you want to go with your life by becoming yourself, is investing in yourself and not waiting for that person. And that's why there's a runner chaser dynamic. Now, ask me any questions, because I feel like I'm just talking. And I like to channel. I mean, I can pull cards, but it's like oneness. We already know this is twin flame relationship. Tell us something we don't know. Want to know about oneness? Well, again, it's all about your innovation by creating yourself. But again, I always think to become yourself is innovating. When we look at people like Madonna, whether we like her or not, it's like through the years, what did she do? She created herself. She kept recreating herself. So there's a sense of whoever you perceive you are has also outdated spirit saying that those are, again, lost perceptions. And so you have to learn, again, patience, because they're not that smart. It's like it's not there to trigger you. It's triggering you because you're like, I'm depleted and I want you to like already step it up and do what you need to do. Like, you don't see that you're hurting me. Whereas spirit's saying it's like patience. And that's if your mind needs to be on what you do. And that, listen, like, I think, well, that's what it is. It's, listen, when you feel, when it's a twin flame relationship, because there is that connection that is in not just the 5D, the 3D, but the 5D. It's, you can feel that person. And so you are dealing with, again, that runner chaser dynamic. When I tapped into you, that's what it was. So you're like, is this twin flame relationship? But you're missing the point. The point is if you heal yourself, you can have this person, because unconditional love makes us do things that we normally wouldn't do. You will never believe it whether a person says, yeah, they are, no, they're not. Because again, twin flame relationships make you fucking crazy. That's what they do. They make you crazy because you're like, I love this person, but I hate this person. I want to be with this person, but I hate this person. That's how they make you. So you're never going to believe like one way or the other until you see it yourself. I'm telling you it's a twin flame relationship. The cards said it's a twin flame relationship. That's what oneness means. I mean, it means we feel like I'm one. And it's, again, what you need to do. And that's why he won't commit until you become yourself. That you won't believe it until the runner becomes the chaser. And that's because it's their ego is big. It's like, I don't believe that I have to change. It's like, you already showed me I don't need to on some level. And that's not because you were, again, because you gave this person too much. So this is their shit. It has nothing to do with you. Like, it's triggering you, is what I'm saying. And if you handle it differently, you'll change the dynamic of the relationship. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is the focus on being with this person. If the focus is on being this person, I'm telling you exactly how to be with this person. I'm telling you also why it's happening on a spiritual level. I'm telling you also what you need to do in order to change the actual dynamic. I can't do it. I can only tell you. Once you do it, that's when you'll see. It's like, but it's like that. Yeah, that's what it is. And let me tell you something, you will also attract other people into your life when you step more into your energy. Because if you think that you're the only person that can train your person that has a big ego, well, you can't. The universe also does. The universe is God. And the universe always brings you what you need. So if you're taking care of yourself, then you're interactive in life. You're meeting different people, situations, experiences. That is also what helps train your person to, again, respect you, love you, to treat you. Otherwise, if you're just waiting for this person to do it and being like not really enough invested in yourself, it's not, this person's gonna like not really commit. If you're looking for them to be your happiness and full passion and not have anything else, they'll always come up short. And that's why I'm saying, I mean, he has the big ego, but this isn't, ego is fear. That's all that is, Tina. It's like, and that has nothing to do with you, though it's triggering you. And really what Spirit says is, look at those things that need to be healed, the things that trigger, heal them, and you change that dynamic. And it's not like, oh, I have to do this whole thing, and then Spirit saying, it's like you're looking at that like it's a bad thing, and it's not. That's the issue, actually looking at it like it's a bad thing and not wanting to invest in yourself. and love yourself and want this person to do it. You have to hold the standard. And so it's also reparenting yourself that you have to do that. I feel like your person has similar experiences to you. So it's like, doesn't mean that they're channeled out the same way and the same behaviorisms. Twin flame soulmates usually aren't. They you and because their approach to life is different. The way that they perceive things is different. That's what partially is why their gifts are what they are and why your gifts are what yours are. And that's why, again, opposites attract, if that makes sense. You following me? Spirit's saying it's again, it's about you being grounded, about being in the here and now, and about doing like that's the thing. It's like this person will eventually circle back around, but the truth of the matter is, unless you change, is the dynamic of the relationship is gonna stay the same, even though you're like, but I know that they have feelings for me, and they do, and you have feelings for them, but you have a wound there, and that wound is, yeah, like I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I felt bad because I was like, oh, I hope that she didn't let go of like because of what I'm saying. But it's like there is passion, but it's like you're dealing with fear. Like, and think about your fear. Your fear is like, I'm afraid I'm not gonna get. I'm afraid that, and so patience is hard, and that's because, well, I haven't. And so spirit says, but that's a wound. And that's also like it's intensified what this person is doing because of that wound. So that's why, again, soul relationships, any soul relationship, a real soul relationship, is going to make you look at yourself. And that's the thing. This person, if they don't evolve into that best place, which I think that they will, I feel that they will, if you do what you need to do. But if you don't, I feel like they'll just keep coming back in, like I said. But if you do, and I also feel like you'll have other options, and that's also what will help train this person, because this person is not going to want, but that's karmic justice. Karmic justice is that when the universe is like, time's up, you didn't rise up the way that you should have. There is unconditional love there. You thought that this person was always going to be there. You thought that they were going to settle for less. And really, you're in your element. You attract exactly what you want. You don't pick it, the universe picks it. And that's why I'm saying, like tough Laura, life has strengthened me. Just thought it would be easier this time around. Well, and that's the thing. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. The fact that it's hard means that you have wounds. It means that there's a sense of love is hard. It's again because you're reliving it. That's why it's like those are your words. I thought that it was going to be easier. Well, I think anything emotional, like when we're connected to relationships, is hard, especially if we're a highly sensitive person. But we need to have ammunition, and the ammunition is other passions, hobbies, interests. Again, when you're invested in your life, you're meeting different people that fulfill you, so that when people don't give you what you need, you're able to shift your energy without having a conversation about it, without like you give less. You're supposed to give less to people that don't, especially relationships. So I feel like it's like you're still the same you. You're still compassionate. You're still like have feelings. You still say, well, I want to treat them the way I would want to be treated. And spirit said, there, well, right there, we went wrong. And you're like, well, what does that mean? Spirit says, treat yourself the way you want to be treated. And a person needs to follow suit. You already know how you're going to treat this person. It's like you're going to treat that person exactly the way that they treat you after a while. You're not going to treat them the way that you want to be treated after they fuck you over. You're going to still treat them that way? No. So, right from the get go, you invest in you. What you're saying is, I love me. I respect me. I deserve. a happy life. I deserve people. Otherwise, that person is going to take you for granted. And that's what you're living in. And that's why you keep living that, because your approach is still the same. And that's why Spirit's saying, oh, you're still not honoring yourself enough. You're still like limiting yourself. And you're like, but what about this person? Spirit says that person is only going to love you from their level of consciousness. They don't love themselves anymore. It's again, you're a mirror of who and what you attract. So they don't love themselves any more than you love yourself. It's like they don't know any better. So it's again, they're going to do that to trigger you, but that's not because they don't care. That's because, again, that's the dynamic of the relationship. And that's, you have to integrate it. And that's why it said everything is a shadow. Everything should bring you back to yourself. If that makes sense to you. So that's why it's like not that is a problem. It's just that it's almost like when you person moves a lot. They think that when they move into the new environment, well, they're new friends and there's new things and it's going to be different this time, but it's never different because we take ourselves with us. It's like people, alcoholics usually have that problem. I remember I was friends with an alcoholic and he said he moved something like 20 times within like 2 years. And in AA, they called that a geographical, trying to bring, change everything through the outside. You got to change the inside. And that's by becoming yourself, because your shadows just mean, well, I've lived these experiences, which this is what I feel, and this is what I really think. And God says, so how do you manifest? Through the thoughts that you think and what you feel. So again, when we think about these things unconsciously, this is what we're creating. So what we need to do is we need to rewire ourselves. We need to recondition, and that's okay, because again, you get the story of who you think you are, then there's the real story of who you truly are, and you say, God, why do you do that? God says, for my glory. We wouldn't have a relationship then. It's again, the higher self is the God part of self, which is that part of yourself, which is supernatural, which before anything, it's for you to invest in yourself by having a love affair with yourself. And that's through finding yourself. You weren't allowed to do this. Again, that's number one. Wasn't allowed to do this. So I don't really know. I'm depleted. And Spirit's saying, yeah, because you didn't grow up with that nurturing and you're sensitive and you needed that. So you have to do it for yourself. You have to fill that cup up all the way so that it overflows. So whoever gets, they just get what falls out of the cup. They never get what's actually in your cup. And that's because you're taking care of yourself from many different avenues. So life should look like a pizza pie, where you give time for your physical health, time for your spiritual health, time for your hobbies and interests. And that might mean, well, I need to see what's going on in my environment. I need to try with no expectation. Just, I want to learn. I want to invest in myself. I want to have a love affair with myself. Then it's again, relationships are something that happen over time. Meeting people by doing the same things over time. This is how you let Jesus per se take the wheel. It's that when the universe then conspires to bring you exactly what you need because you are becoming that. And then if you have to do this anyway, if you want this person back, again, because by you changing changes the dynamic of the relationship. But chances are you'd be like, you know what, now I did all this other stuff and I have all these other options. Now I don't know whether I want you. And God would say, well, that's kind of karmic justice. And it's also, if the relationship is going to work, that would need to happen. They would need to sit in their shit a little bit, because you would be like, well, you know what? I realized that now I was put in that position where I had a lot of options. Now I'm going to see what those options are for me and see whether or not you're really my unconditional love, really my soulmate twin flame. Because if you are, I'm not going to be able to date. I'm not going to be able to do that. I might be able to go out on a few dates and then I'll be like, man, I don't really want to do this. Like, it's stupid. I want to be with this person. That's how you know. Otherwise, you won't know and you'll be resentful, because you'll be like, you made me sit and wait. And now I have other options and I still don't think that you treat me well. God says, well, they don't treat you well because you still didn't train them. just because of all that, and they came back and said they're sorry. It's like, no, they got to sit in their shit a little bit. It's like, that's how they know. Well, guess what? It's like, I have other options too. You need to look at me a lot differently, buddy boy. You need to treat me a lot better. Because what I see here is nothing but breadcrumbs. It's like, when meanwhile I can go out and give myself a 5-course meal. Why do I want your breadcrumbs? It's like, come on. It's like, and then they say, well, she's over there having a 5-course meal and I'm over here eating breadcrumbs. I want to be over there having the 5-course meal. Of course you do. Of course you do. That's your fear that was holding back. I'm just doing for me. You want to love me because I'm your muse? Go right ahead. Because really, that's what a soulmate twin flame is supposed to be. I'm your muse. But I'm doing me. Because emotionally, you'll never give me enough because I was depleted from the day you met me. I'm an empty well because I grew up with Irish family too from Mayo. So understand, I know it's the way of the structure where God says, again, if you got bones because of it, you're not going to get all your gifts from that. Understand now it's about the whole creation process. And the Irish have one of the most psychic. So again, to go into that, why? Because of the trauma. Again, when there's trauma, when you're afraid and you go into that realm, make sure you imagine everything that you want to create for yourself. But you have to embody it at this point, because again, that empath energy, then you'll see a different story. Then that's when life becomes different. Otherwise, it's not going to become different, because the whole point of spiritual relationships are that God is talking to you through them, that the universe is talking to you. Like, hey, listen, this is a little bit off. Because sometimes you're like, who the fuck is this person that you brought me, universe? This person is like, there's really like, there's something wrong with them. And God says, well, again, if the shoe fits, wear it. It's like, again, it made me trigger. Why did I learn this? It's like, that's what we have to say, instead of, oh, this person did this to me. Instead of, why did I attract this person? What do I need to learn? Sometimes it's funny. It's like, really, universe, you bringing me this clown? It's like, you got to be kidding me. It's like, but once you integrate it, you change that energy and you change the dynamic of the relationship. And that's why I'm saying, it's like, you won't be able to control a real twin flame soulmate relationship because of that unconditional love, because of that past life connection. It's strong, it's a spiritual connection, and it's a divine union, because again, it's supposed to make both of the parties step into their true authentic self. Either way, you have to do it, but it's a one way that you could say, are you a twin flame, or are you a karmic mate, a past life karmic mate, that I didn't learn the spiritual lesson of giving to myself? And just like in the past life, you fucked me, you thought you were going to in this life. No, not today. I'm giving to myself. Because that's why those things keep replaying. Those spiritual lessons. It's like, why did this person come into my life? It's like, I really felt like we had this connection. You did. And there is unconditional love with a past life karmic mate. No one's going to sit there and learn the lesson, the difficult lesson, unless there's some sort of passion in there, unless you're getting something. It's like, that's how you get tricked. But you don't get hurt if you're invested in yourself and you're loving yourself, because you're not so close up to the picture, right? When you're able to intuitively tap in, it's because you're balanced. You see the differences. You can read energy. You can feel when energy changes. If you're too close up to the picture, which again, imbalanced, karmic mates will want you to give more energy to them. That's how you know it's karmic, because you abandon yourself. And so in that, you obviously can feel the drain of energy, and you see the actual manifestation at the end. But that won't happen even if you're with a past life karmic mate, because the energy becomes so imbalanced that you again are like, you say something and you change the dynamic, because those people don't want you to say anything. And once you're balanced, your life is too good. You're not going to abandon it for, something that feels bad. And the universe also then conspires to bring you people more in alignment with your energy, which kind of helps train that past life karmic mate that's like, well, you lost that person. Or that's why a lot of people say, well, how come, where's the karma for that person? It's like, well, if you don't do what you do, that person doesn't actually have to get karmic retribution. They just don't learn. They just go about their life doing the same thing. So I hope that makes sense. And do you have any other questions? I know that was a lot, but those relationships are complex, and really your spiritual block would make it even more like triggering. You could ask too. See what the cards say. Ask me whatever else you want to ask before I close out. I don't react when people mention you again. This person might be very emotionally not intelligent. Like, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to seem vulnerable. I don't want to say one way or the other. Oh, well, I'm just saying. It's like, come on, like this. Don't undervalue yourself. I'm telling you, because you'll be like, what am I doing? It's like I do better on my own and have a better time on my own than to that. So unless you're coming in and entertaining me or like doing something, you got to be like adding something, then no, because life was already that way and you need sensitive people around. It's again the passion again that the soulmate twin flame have is what makes them not be able to stay away. My issue is not that they won't stay away or come back. It's that they come back, but they come back and stir up all these emotions and then and then leave, and that depletes you. And you might say, well, I love this person. I feel like I can't help myself. And God says, that's okay, as long as are balanced and have other shit in your life. Because you'll meet other people and eventually you're going to be like, no, I'm not going to see you. Or I'm busy. Or this person's going to come back and they're going to see life has changed. And you change the dynamic, but you don't stay in the funk. And I'm glad that you're going to do those things. But I feel like, again, this person's coming back. It's like, again, because they know, again, that it is a oneness. But that was not what the issue is. The issue is that this person is not emotionally intelligent and that you need to be grounded. And really by doing things that you're passionate about, by creating yourself, then that changes again. Because now you're showing this person, I have other options. All right. I'm glad that it worked. You got to keep me posted, Tina. And if you can post a positive comment on the outside of this, because when this live stream is over, all these comments disappear. So no one actually usually watches the live streams. But if you post a positive comment, even if you cut and paste this last comment to the end, I'd appreciate it, because then it gets people to watch my channel more. It gets trying to do all the little tricks that build a channel, but I'm new to the whole YouTube thing. So, learning, mastering. So thank you. And thank you for watching and supporting my channel. And I'll talk to you soon. Keep me updated. Bye.